inviting me or allowing us to sponsor this event. Good morning. It's good morning, right? Good morning. Okay. I'm Tarsha Jackson, and I am running for Houston City Council District B. District B is Greenspoint, Acres Homes. You have Fifth Ward, Cashmere Garden, Northeast Houston areas. I was born and raised in the district, and for too long the district has been forgotten and neglected by the powers that be, our city officials. And so I just wanted to spend all my time and energy fighting for our community. I have 12 years of mortgage lending experience and over 20 years organizing communities to fight for policies to improve their everyday lives. 18 years ago, my life changed after my 10-year-old son was arrested at his elementary school for refusing to go to a timeout. He was given a Class C misdemeanor, and after that arrest, he spent over 5 years in Texas juvenile jails. He got out at the age of 16 years old. I quit my job at Wells Fargo and started fighting for my son, along with not just my son, but other kids that was getting caught up in the juvenile justice system, because it was something that was happening back then in the early 90s and the early 2000s. And so as a result of my fight, I was instrumental in getting legislation passed that prohibit counties from jailing kids on Class C misdemeanors. Right. We also got over 2,000 kids returned back home to their parents that were locked up, for average of 2.5 years. Parent Bill of Rights. A lot of reforms came out of that fight. And what that fight taught me is that when we come together as a community in a unified voice, we can do anything. It was just 5 families, parents, fighting for our kids, and we got laws passed. And so after that fight, I couldn't go back to banking because I was bit by the bug. I had won something, so it was time to keep fighting for my community because I was more aware of the issues our community was facing with. And so my other work included, after Hurricane Ike, I fought and won millions of dollars to repair homes that was damaged after Hurricane Ike. A lot of people was left behind. The money went to the big businesses and not residents. And so we fought and got that money. I fought to keep schools from shutting down. I mean, you name it. If it's an issue that the community care about, I've worked on that issue. And running for city council is just a continuation of my work. And the thing about it is, I have not just been fighting, but I've been winning and getting results, and that's what I plan to do when I'm on council. I'm going to fight for good jobs. Here in District B, you have 40% of the people make under $25,000 a year. You cannot sustain a family on that. And so I'm going to fight to make sure that people that's doing business with the city is paying our people at least $15 an hour so that they can get back, become productive citizens. The other thing I'm going to fight for is flooding. Every time it rains, our neighborhood floods, especially in District B. So I'm going to make sure that the billions of dollars that's coming into our city, our community get what our fair share of that money. And the main thing, criminal justice. We have people every day being arrested on traffic tickets. We're spending almost $1.2 billion to operate our criminal justice system. And we don't need that. We don't need to be arresting people on traffic tickets. So I'm going to fight to make sure that people that have traffic tickets be able to handle their traffic tickets while they're at home, in their communities, working, not destroying families for, fines and fees. So that is very important to me. But in order for me to do it, I need support. And so if you live in the district, if you know somebody that lives in the district, please vote November the 5th for Tarsha Jackson, City Council District B. I'm committed. I'm a fighter. I'm still here. I'm not going nowhere. Even if I don't win, I'm still going to be fighting for my community. But I'm going to win, so if you're going to vote for me, or you're going to help the people vote for me, I'm the right person for the job. Thank you. Tarsha Jackson, City Council District B.
All right.
And there it is. I love to hear Tasha speak, and she's absolutely right. If there's ever any time to make sure that your vote counts and matters, the time is now. At this time, did you want to? Okay. Definitely. One of the things I want to make sure I mention, some of the things that Tarsha was mentioning about Hurricane Ike and things like that, all of that involves staying connected with your community and things of that nature. And the one thing I want you to do is make sure you stay connected with your community. Housing, our interstates, TxDOT, different things like that are things that impact your community. We have the 2020 census that's coming up, and believe it or not, As little as that sounds, that this little form is mailed to you and you go online and fill it out saying how many people is in your household, believe it or not, that impacts your dollars that are allocated into your community. That impacts schools that are implemented in your community. That impacts a lot of things, so don't take those things lightly, because guess who makes sure they fill out those applications? People that don't look like us. So make sure you take things like that seriously. Some of the things that I want you to make sure you do